Think of any sci-fi movie, or picture the inside of your old desktop computer. If you open up a TV remote, a calculator, or a smartphone, you'll find the exact same thing beating at its core, a printed circuit board. And almost every single time, it's green. But why? Why not red, matte black, or neon blue? Was it just a stylistic choice by some 1960s engineer who wanted electronics to look futuristic? Welcome to Simple Things Surprising Histories. Today, we are cracking open the machine to answer a question you've probably never thought to ask. Why are almost all circuit boards green? To solve this mystery, we first have to bust a common myth. The circuit board itself isn't actually green. If you look at the raw fiberglass and epoxy that make up the base of a printed circuit board, they're usually a dull yellowish-brown or grayish-white color. The green you see is actually a microscopic suit of armor. It's a liquid photo-imageable resin called a solder mask. Circuit boards are covered in hundreds of tiny, fragile copper pathways. If a stray drop of metallic solder or even high humidity bridges the wrong two paths, it creates a short circuit and fries the device. The solder mask is baked over the top to protect these pathways, leaving only the tiny metal pads exposed. But why did they dye this protective armor green? The story takes us back to the mid-20th century during the Cold War. In the early days of modern electronics, the United States military was the biggest buyer of circuit boards. They needed reliable technology that wouldn't fail under extreme conditions. Early protective resins naturally had a muddy greenish-brown tint to them, but the military rigorously tested different pigments and combinations. They found that a specific shade of green performed exceptionally well in adverse environments. Because the military bought these boards by the millions, factories standardized their assembly lines for green resin. Since the machines were already calibrated for green, it became the cheapest and most readily available color for everyday civilian electronics too. But there's also a biological reason green stuck around, and it has to do with your eyes. Today, circuit boards are rapidly inspected by automated cameras and lasers, but decades ago, every single board had to be inspected by a human being. A factory worker would sit under harsh fluorescent lights, staring at hundreds of tiny, shiny metal solder joints, looking for microscopic errors. This caused massive eye strain. Scientists realized the human eye is highly sensitive to green light, making it the most relaxing color for our brains to process. Green also provided perfect visual contrast. The shiny silver solder popped, and the tiny white instructional text printed on the boards was incredibly easy to read. Switching to green massively reduced manufacturing errors. Fast forward to today. We have the technology to make circuit boards in literally any color. In fact, some high-end devices now use sleek black, blue, or white boards. So why is green still the undisputed king? It comes down to chemistry and cost. Because green solder mask has been the standard for decades, its chemical formula is absolutely perfected. Green resin cures faster, hardens better, and allows for the smallest, most precise gaps between components, sometimes as small as 0.1 millimeters. Other colors, like red or blue, simply can't match that level of microscopic precision without a higher failure rate. Plus, because the whole world uses it, green remains the absolute cheapest option to mass produce. So the next time you see a green circuit board, you'll know it's not just a random design choice. It's a perfect, surprising blend of military history, biological science, and chemical perfection. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden history of everyday things, please hit that like button, share this video with a curious friend, and subscribe to Simple Things Surprising Histories. Until next time, keep wondering about the simple things.